Hey, what's up out there? David Duford here at davidduford.com, where I help insurance agents like you become top producing insurance professionals. And I want to welcome you warmly to yet another no BS final expense insurance sales training spectacular. You are here today because you are looking for questions to your answers as it relates to anything, not just final expense, but any insurance sales question. And I'm here, my friends, to deliver. My job here today is to answer any and all questions that you have as it relates to helping you become a better insurance salesperson, regardless of what you're going to sell. So everybody that's jumping in, hey, Susan, Ben, everybody else jumping on the call, I appreciate you guys again being here. So let me give you a little rundown if this is your first live stream call. I do these once a month, usually the first Tuesday of every month. Most of the session is just based around answering whatever questions that you have. And I usually do some kind of training along with the live stream. So I've been kind of on a knack here with doing some live stream trainings in different Facebook groups and online with actually using some real life recordings of sales calls, door knocks, and appointment settings. So part of what we're going to do today is talk about door knocking. And I'm going to mix it up with a little bit differently than I normally do, which what we're going to do is, A, listen to a couple of door knocks so I can teach the lessons, or at least teach the lessons first, and then show you how it actually sounds in real life when you're actually making a prospecting door knock cold call. Sorry, not cold call, working your leads, very important, but I can address questions related to that. And then I'm going to show you some actual images of some houses that I may or may not have knocked. But to kind of, again, reinforce some of the training that I like to train with agents who come train with me in my agency that do ride-alongs. There's a lot of things that I forget to teach on YouTube, believe it or not. And sometimes having a visual representation of the goal that I have in mind will help clarify what it is that I'm looking to accomplish. So here's the format, guys. You got your Texas. You got your questions. I got the answers. Ask them at will. I will stop every occasion to scroll through the chat here and answer anything that you might have asked. I've got an interesting question already. I can't help but to not answer. It's from Mr. Andrew Bennett. He asks, who wrote those great books on the bookshelf behind you? I'm sure you're not referring to Jim Rogers of Bull and Shine or Patton's Wars. I knew it. Must be the other ones back here. If you like selling insurance and you want to know every magic trick available in this business, go to Amazon or my website, davidduford.com, and let me sell you one of my books, The Official Guide to Selling Final Expense Insurance, and Top Producing Insurance Agents book, the blue one behind me. Both are great reads. You can buy them on Amazon or the digital copy on my website, and your check is in the mail, Andrew. Thanks again. All right. Hey, Hewlett Bob, thanks for joining y'all. All over the country, worldwide now. That's awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so I got this call the other day I wanted you guys to listen to. And tell me what you think here. I'm going to play it for you. It's not too long, but it's kind of interesting.
If you call me again, I will kill you.
Have you ever gotten that call whenever you have called somebody, ever tell you to go to hell and die? That doesn't happen too often, thankfully, in this business, but I've got a lot of other audios here that are not safe for work. I don't even know if they're safe for YouTube, but I think I'm going to compile a video out of it. They're just audios, but they're hilariously funny. But there are some interesting people out there that unfortunately we don't get to meet all of them. So let's start with today's training. So again, what I like to do here, guys, as you guys know, I like training fundamentals. If you've talked to me at any length, you know that I do jujitsu, okay? And I do private lessons from time to time with a guy who's a 3-stripe black belt. He's been doing it for 23 years, and he's really, I don't know how you could say, he's just genius when it comes to jiu-jitsu. And a lot of what he teaches, I have just realized that there's so much in his teaching of jiu-jitsu that I see in what I teach when it comes to sales training. And it's a focus on fundamentals and how fundamentals drives forward the vast majority of your results in the business. It can get repetitive to talk about fundamentals. You may have heard this once before, But the thing is if you learn things and you repeat a lesson over and over again, what you find is as you begin to do something repetitively, you learn things about the activity that sometimes goes deeper than just what you would expect on a normal fundamental basis. So I like to bring up the fundamentals because, again, any sport, martial art, or sales training, it's the fundamentals that drives the results. So today, door knocking is the main course of action and main course of topics that we're going to talk about. So when I say door knocking, what I'm referring to is when we door knock somebody who we already have a lead. A lot of you guys watching this do final expense, maybe sell other kind of life products. I don't care what you sell. This same kind of training applies to everything. And the reason we door knock is because it is the best form of prospecting to convert the most out of our leads and prospects. So one of the biggest problems in selling business to consumer especially is not being able to get people to pick up the phone when we prospect and call. People are basically putting up barriers more now than ever. They really have for longer than I've been in the business to prevent from picking up and talking to a salesperson. And I have noticed it working personally in the field over just 5 or 6 years that there's been a vast difference in the amount of people that are picking up the phone. Not so much that it's not worth picking up the phone, but enough so that making things like door knocking a primary focus is really important. Again, the problem is not really dealing with objections or rebuttaling them or what do you say when you make appointments over the phone. It's getting the friggin' people to pick the phone up. That's the most challenging thing, and there's not much you can do about it except call a couple of times in a row, and that does work to an extent. But door knocking is the solution. And the thing about door knocking that's great is that it's a skill set that most of us are more attuned to and are going to be better performing when you first begin in your journey in selling insurance. We just naturally are going to do better because communication is multifaceted. When we just have a phone to speak into, we just have our voice, tonality, and what words we select. Whereas when we meet face-to-face with somebody, we have all of that, plus more important forms of communication like body language, eye contact, and even human touch. These all communicate more effectively by an exponential number than a phone call will. Not to say that you can't get good on the phone or that you shouldn't. It's just that if you want immediate results and you want to get out there in the field and you want to get good at converting more of your leads to appointments, get really good at door knocking for appointments. Now, the thing is as much as I have my critiques of Lincoln Heritage, the one thing I think they do right on a vast level is they teach their agents to go into the field and not to appointment set as a primary method for a new agent. There is I think Christine L. is a YouTube channel on here. She's a Lincoln Heritage manager. She does some pretty good training if you want to check her out. Whether or not you like Lincoln's is besides the point. But she actually sets appointments over the phone. But I think if she was on the call here listening, she'd agree that most agents are taught to come in and door knock. Why? Because it's shown to be way more effective for the brand new agent. So it really pays to get good at it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to actually show you a couple of visuals of houses that I may or may not have door knocked in my days as an insurance agent. And when looking at these, I'm going to kind of ask you, is this a house you door knock? And then what should you kind of worry about if something happens? This will kind of be an engaging type of back and forth here. But through this process, I think I'll be able to better explain the training better and kind of tell you what's going through my mind when I'm door knocking so that you know what fundamentals I'm paying most attention to. Let me pull off Facebook here. I don't want to look at that. And all right. Cool. Let me check the chat here. Good. We got 61 coming on strong. Thanks for joining, guys. I really appreciate y'all. I'll answer some questions for jumping in. Edward Menezes. Sorry, buddy, if I messed your name up. David, how do I become an agent? Work with me. Go to daviddufour.com. Click the Join Dave's Insurance Agency link at the top. You'll see it when it's there. And just go through that process. Check out everything there. I have a whole video series that lets you know if my program's right for you and is a good fit. So check that out first, then you can set an appointment with me. Okay, do the Funny-O video. Do it. Yeah, I did it. You got it. Ben, what do you door knock houses in rural areas with signs that say trespassers will be shot? Yeah, we'll talk about that shortly, Ben. Okay. Hey, Eric, what's going on? Do you call or just door knock first? You can do one or the other. It doesn't really matter. If you call and they tell you to go to hell, they won't remember you in the next couple of days. You probably caught them in the middle of something they were pissed off about. We all have bad times in the day, or we're angry and somebody calls and it's just like the worst time, But these people probably get multiple phone calls a day soliciting for sales. And if you show up, it's a totally different encounter. I promise you. Even the people who tell you to go to hell, it's good. They'll still talk to you. Now, yeah, some of them aren't going to tell you that at the door too, but it's worth a shot to do either or. Hey, Mario. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I don't know. You can't hear me. That means you can't hear me. Hopefully, get it worked out. Michael Dvorak, hey, thank you for buying the book. I appreciate it. Tanner says, need help with door knocking Facebook leads. When I don't have anything physical to show them to remind them that they filled the card out, unlike a direct mail card. Let me give you a quick piece of advice here for any of you guys working Facebook leads. Always reference the email address, okay? You should have the email address, right? When you look at the note cards or that list, the Excel sheet that you get on the leads, show them their information. Show them. If they say, I don't remember what you're talking about, point to a printout and say, well, here's your name, right? And then point out, say, is this your email? Whatever at gmail.com. It's going to be hard to deny that this is, in fact, their email, right? Most of us keep our emails private. It's not publicly shared out there. The point is that's going to at least capture their attention a little closer and maybe cause them to lean in more and allow you to expand the conversation to see and leverage if anything's there. Let's see here. You hear me repeating. Okay, if you guys keep... Yeah, you may have two open there. Hey, Aiden, what's going on? Hey, Dave, wanted 2 cents on what you believe is realistic, no BS calling to appointment setting to closing ratio. Okay, appointment setting, closing ratio. So let me kind of give you a couple of ratios, and if this answers, great. If not, you can clarify. I'm just a little confused. You should be able to set about 40 to 50% of your leads as booked appointments over the phone. Now, you should get more than that if you door knock, okay? And then out of those set appointments, a good but not great agent will close 50%. All right, meaning if I have 10 appointments a week, I want my production to be 5 policies. Okay, it might be 3 sales, 3 homes I've closed in because 1 or 2 of those were husband and wife. So I got 4 out of 2 homes, and then a widow in the third one, and then I would have had 7 others that didn't buy. Well, that's still a 50% conversion ratio. Okay, it's not a closing ratio as it relates to the number of appointments you do. It's a function of how many policies you go. So I don't care, if it's whatever the number of houses you actually close, doesn't matter. It's the ratio of policies to appointments. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Okay, good, Mario. You got it now. Fantastic. All right. Good, Michael. 3,200. Good job, man. That's the kind of stuff I like hearing. Sam, hey, what's up, Sam? I've come across very rural areas that have gated fences with long driveways or dirt roads that lead to faraway properties. I do not like opening fences, even when I can't see the home. Yeah, that's kind of one of those. Those are probably going to be the more difficult ones. So if you guys can imagine being on some dirt country road, you come across some ranch. It's probably what Sam's running into, and it's gated off. There's not much you can do if you can't call them. I would try calling them immediately a couple of times. Worst case scenario, you want to get a sticky notice to leave on their gate. That's just a last-ditch effort if nothing else works. Those are kind of the tougher ones to deal with. Now, there's ways to get around gates. I'll talk about that in a minute on kind of how you can do better there. DSA Daisy, what's going on? Thanks for joining. I'm brand new agent to the insurance industry. I want to focus on health insurance. Where do you recommend you start? Don't sell health insurance. So when I say don't sell health insurance, the under 65 market was really just devastated by Obamacare. I had one guy out of Tennessee. This guy was making $250,000 a year in health insurance renewals back in 2007. Well, when CMS and I can't remember that woman's name. She ran CMS or whatever equivalent, and they passed Obamacare. All the companies started gutting insurance commissions to control costs. I mean, literally, there are insurance products that you can recommend that will not pay you anything, but you can sell them, or like a 1 or 2% commission. It's just insane. So this guy lost all of his renewal commission. He built his whole business around this idea, and he had to go back into business selling final expense. Now, what's a good health insurance product to sell is Medicare. Medicare is a fantastic product. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's, after all, a government program. And you can either sell supplements or Medicare Advantage plans or both. There's a lot of good resources out there to help you with that. You can check out Christopher Westfall. He teaches agents how to sell Medicare supplements. I'm doing an interview with a guy named Justin Brock. He's on Facebook under Medicare Coach. He sold 10,000 Medicare supplements in 5 years in northern Mississippi, okay, in the middle of nowhere, right? So there's a lot of opportunity in Medicare supplements. So as far as health insurance goes, I'd highly recommend going the Medicare route as opposed to the under 65 market. Okay. Dead on the numbers. Where can we find the pre-printed sticky notes? Yes, Bob, shoot me an email or contact me on my website at daviddufour.com/contact. I'll give you the direct link, and that goes for anybody else that's interested when we say the sticky notes. Okay, so let's take a look at some pictures here. Let me make sure I got the right pictures up. You want to see the right stuff? Hold on one second. All right. Okay. Y'all should see my desktop. You don't see it? Now you do. All right. So behold a prospect I once called on. So I want to prompt you here on what I look for when I'm rolling up into this property and things that you should be concerned of, or maybe you shouldn't be. If you notice here to the left, it's kind of hard to see for sure. I'm going to try to scroll in. See where it says that sign there? That sign says, you guessed it, somebody mentioned it earlier, beware of dog. Now I want you to take a look at this property and think, where's that dog hiding at? And should you be deterred by this sign? Feel free to comment below on what you think. While you're listening, I'm going to tell you what I did. I ignored that sign. It doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. Mainly because there's no fence that is, stopping me. There's no obvious sign of a dog. Okay, this is a question I get from a lot of people. Is what happens when there's the risk of, hey man, there's a dog. I don't like dogs. I don't want to get bit. I've been bit 3 times, so trust me, I have a particular concern about making sure that I'm not going to get eaten alive. So the first thing you want to do is, again, I'll pull you over to the screen again. Imagine there was a gate over here. All right, kind of around the driveway and around the side. You want to park, first of all, in the driveway, okay? We'll talk about more of this later. But when you get out of the car, you want to do one of 2 things. You want to lay down on the horn, beep, 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 be really obnoxious about it. Or you want to walk up to the chain link fence, that's probably what it is, and give it a hard shake a couple of times, okay? If you've got a watchdog at this point, they're going to be flipping out, okay? They're going to think, oh, God, there's some horrible bad guy that's about to invade my master's property. And they're going to try to stop you, okay? And they're going to make it obvious. They're going to start barking like crazy. If I don't get any reception or if I don't hear anything after going way obnoxious like that, then I'm going to walk inside the gate and go up to the door and knock the door. However, if the gate is locked here, I will lay on the horn until somebody walks out of the house. Again, you have nothing to lose if nobody's there, okay? And you have nothing to lose by laying down on the horn if you can't get in otherwise, okay? Because, hey, you might not be able to get them to pick up the phone either. They're just going to come out and be like, what is wrong? And then you can just say, hey, I'm sorry for hanging down on the door or hanging on the horn, but I'm here because you sent this card in, and then go into your script, okay? So these are just little tactics or strategies you can do to kind of help your results. Next screen here, I'm going to show you guys. All right, hold on one second. Yeah, all right. So this is a little less intimidating scene here. What we're looking at here is just a basic final expense house. Notice here on the side, you got a dog house. You can probably see my mouse here. It's kind of right of the door. But I wouldn't be concerned, again, because there's no chain here indicating there's a dog on the chain. It's on the front porch, probably a cat house or something, I don't know. But the reason I pulled this up is not for that. This is a relatively easy deal. But what I like to do, if you notice over here in the driveway, I like to park in the driveway. In fact, I like to leave my car on when I door knock, okay? The reason is that I envision that someone is looking out the window while I roll up, okay? And they're wondering what I'm doing there. If you leave the car on and you leave your door open, you feel comfortable doing that. You may be in neighborhoods where you're not so comfortable, then don't do it. But if you feel comfortable, leave the door open. what that's going to show these people is that you're not here permanently. And you might get a little bit more people to answer the door that otherwise wouldn't, okay? Because it's a little, makes you a little curious, okay? Now, when I walk up to the door here, the first thing I want to make clear is that I don't bring in all my junk, okay? I'm not rolling up my briefcase, my laptop, my 13-ring binder folder. I just bring the lead card, a pen, and a clipboard, okay? I'm trying to be as not obvious a salesperson as I can, okay? Now, if you pay attention to the door here, you notice this door has a front door, like a screen door, right? And then there's the main door behind it. I'm assuming it's closed. It might be open. Sometimes you'll run into the circumstance where the door is closed. The screen door is locked, okay? If that's the case, sometimes it can be a little harder to door knock. You want to make sure that you knock really, really hard. You can do one of two things. You can knock on the door if you can really hard, or you can knock and rasp on the side of the house. Now, some people have different ways of knocking on the door. Some people do the old-fashioned shave and a haircut, which is to me, that screams salesperson. I never like that. You know, when I hear that, I'm thinking, oh, God, somebody's going to sell me magazines or Girl Scout cookies. That would be okay. But, I think it's somebody that I don't want to talk to. So I don't want to answer the door. So who would you always answer the door for if you had an idea that it was something serious? Well, if it was a cop. So what I like doing when I door knock is I like door knocking 11 times in rapid succession really hard. And I personally think a door knock speaks loads to your level of, confidence and your status, I guess you can say. So here's how my door knock sounds. I mean, I'm literally bleeding from the knuckles after I get done door knocking, okay? But that door knock will cause people to stand up in attention and wonder who is at the front door. And it's kind of like an urgency factor where people run to the door and answer it and wonder what's going on. They're concerned because it's not a normal, distinct, small kind of door knock sound. I actually had a person a couple of years back I did this to, and the lady answered the door and she's like, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm the insurance man." And it turned out that she ended up saying, "Wow, I thought you were a cop." But I thought, good. That's exactly what I want, because otherwise, sometimes it's just hard to get these people to answer using the old traditional methods. At least that's been my opinion. Okay, so let me take a time out here, answer some questions from the live stream. All right. All right, sorry, I got to get my space here. Okay, Mary, I just became a new member and wondering if I have to request a Facebook lead training, or is it? Yeah, it's available on the site. If you go to inside the Inner Circle program, you'll see it. It says Facebook training at the top. If you can't find it, please message me. I'll send it to you. Hey, Adam, what's going on? I sell both Medicare Supplement and Advantage. It will keep you busy as hell. Absolutely. That's plenty to do, that's for sure. And yes, Chris is good for training, for especially MedSups. No dog in house. Yeah, dog's probably in the house. So this reference back to this image on the screen here, kind of wondering where the dog is in particular. In this case, the dog is definitely not here, not outside. If there was a fence, I would be concerned that he would be outside. Okay. Now, that's not always the case. The one time I almost got bit, I was knocking on a door in the middle of nowhere, and I looked down, and there was like this 2-gallon size doggy bowl, and then right beside it was this 50-pound bag of, extra large dog food, 50 pounds. And I thought, that's funny. And as soon as I thought that, this big old mangled dog comes around the corner and starts doing that low pitch growl. I thought, oh God, it's over. I'm not going to have kids anymore after this incident. But somehow I talked the dog down and said, "Nice doggy." Walked around and got back in my car. It was a close one. Do I carry anything? No. I should. I don't know. I should. I have nothing against conceal and carry. I know a lot of guys that do. Some people do not feel safe in certain neighborhoods, certain parts of the country, and just for personal protection, you should. But I never did. I got as far as getting my gun a couple of different ones, and then testing for the conceal and carry, but I never followed through and I never practiced. So I guess that's part of the deal. It's one of those things I never got around to, but it's not a bad idea. Okay, Cincinnati, Ohio. What's up, man? What are the good days and time to door knock? Okay, cool. Great question. I'm going to answer this right now. Sunrise to sunset. Okay, I used to start door knocking at 11 o'clock, all right? The reason is I thought that most of my seniors were laid up in bed till about 11 or 12, and there's a good percentage that are, okay? Because you'd start knocking, and women would answer in their see-through muumuus at like 10, rubbing the sleep out of their eye. I thought, well, I better not do that anymore. So I would door knock till 11, and I would door knock till sundown. Now, here's the deal. That's definitely works, but you can start earlier. I started knocking at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you'll find especially older seniors in their like 70s, they're up early, all right? And when you knock on the door, they're going to be hanging around a lot of the times, and it's a good time to meet them. I got to the point later on when I was running full-time, running 30-plus appointments a week. I'd start at 8 o'clock in the morning on preset appointments. And I got enough on a consistent basis to realize, okay, you could start this early if you wanted to. People do get up this early to talk about life insurance or just to be up, okay? And as far as door knocking, that's kind of a sensitive subject. I think that males do better not door knocking women after sundown. Like right now I'm looking out my window. It's dark. I can barely see the next house in front of me. I don't feel comfortable if I see on that lead card there's a female and I'm door knocking them past sundown. Now, I'll set appointment for later that night to come back, totally fine. But door knocking that late just kind of makes me I would be leery. If my wife was home alone, I would be leery. It's kind of how I look at it. Now, with that said, door knock the men after sundown, totally fine, not a problem. They usually don't have an issue with it. Okay. Let's see. Eric's, yes, police bang the fist. Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a big difference. What about cold door knock? No cards. So here's real quick advice, Ken. Hey, what's up, Chris? Get a blank final expense lead piece. Download it offline. You can go to my website, find one. If you can't find it, send me a message, daviddufour.com /contact. I'll get you one. Print it off. Black marker out the parts of it with personal information and go around and say, hey, my name is Ken. The reason I'm stopping by is you probably have gotten a card like this sometime in the past, I don't know, a couple of months. And most people send this back because they're looking for information on final expense coverage. And I'm here today because you may or may not have sent it back, and I was just in the area and wanted to see if you had a few minutes to go over this information with you. So the cool thing is everybody gets these cards like 8 a month, all right? It's not like they've never seen it. Most people don't send it in, but they know about it and kind of wonder, what is this all about? So you'll pick up some appointments real easy like that. Okay. Let's see. Noretza, do you believe in the more dials you make, the more appointments you'll set, therefore the more you'll be able to sell? In other words, is higher activity equal more sales? Yes. Assuming you have a moderately okay agent. I will take a 5 out of 10 agent who is consistent in their activity, consistent and follow through, especially activity. They door knock, they call, they do everything. I'll take that over a charismatic 10 out of 10 Tony Robbins guy who's lazy as hell, all right? Chris is on the call here. He runs and works with a lot of agents. I guarantee you he would agree 100%. This is not a complicated business. It's quite simple. It's just you got to work, all right? So the more activity you do, the likelihood is very high. There is a correlation that you're going to make more sales, as long as you're not a total moron. Again, you don't have to be great, but you have to be okay/good. I know a mortgage protection company that 250 dials a week, yeah. So Dave, going back to Medicare, should I start with a call center insurance type company or start on my own selling Medicare? That's going to come down to if you perform better in a group environment or if you're self-sufficient as an independent agent. I'm an independent agent. I prefer working that way. I'd never work in a call center. So that's my bias. You'll make more money, you'll have more freedom, and you'll get to keep your book of business too. I think that's superior. Let's see here. Sorry, guys, keep getting jumped around here. Mike, my company has me at 4% 401k plan. They're taking about $200 out of my check biweekly. Is there life insurance that I can benefit from? I'm 28, healthy. Oh boy, this is a different question than the normal agent question. Yes, if you want to, give me a call. 888-626-0439. I can help you with that potentially. All right, Keepsake Financial. Hey, what's up, man? You may have had this question asked before. Do you prefer to work your warm market for leads or buy a reputable source? Personally, I don't like to bother my friends or family. I'm an introvert. I don't want to make them feel obligated to listen to my pitch. So I've always had a mindset of not doing that. With that said, I do believe that it's okay if you follow a particular procedure that makes sense for you to contact your warm market. Your warm market's more likely than not to be interested in your success, to listen to what you have to say, and also provide referrals. So I think it's a strong way to start. It just has to be done the right way, and you don't want to burn connections. But you don't have to do that. I went the purchase lead route when I started in 2011 selling final expense. I'm glad I did. I eventually sold some people like mom and dad some insurance and some others as well. But when I started, I felt more comfortable with leads because I just didn't like hustling the few friends and family that I had. So that's, again, personal opinion. All right. Hey, Lyndon, what's up? Do you prefer selling mortgage protection? Final expense. That's pretty much all I've done. Mortgage protection is similar in the sales process, but final expense, you're going to run more daytime appointments. There's a larger level of business available in the form of lead generation. Mortgage protection, you're limited to new home sales and refis, and there's a lot of fluctuation in what the market's doing. Whereas we target everybody 55, 60 and older for final expense that makes less than $50,000. There's millions of people, so you'll never run out of leads. Okay. Hey, Dave. What's better than listening to you on my way home? That's right. You listening to me in bed's good too. I don't know if my wife would agree with me. Okay. Mike, make sure you get an IUL. Keep fun, max fun if possible. Hey, what's going on, Lolly? Was appointment setting today. Guy said he didn't want to talk to anyone, wanted something in the mail. Yeah, door knock tomorrow. Or you could say, hey, I get that a lot, but here's the deal. My company requires me to sit down and show you how this works. Look, bottom line, what you do with this information is entirely up to you. If you like it, great. If not, we'll shake hands and be friends and be done in 5 minutes. How's Tuesday at 2 or 10 be better? That's a good rebuttal script as well. Brad says, when cold knocking, do you just try hard to get in the house or do you just go for the appointment? You want to get either or. You want to get in the house immediately. That's always initiative A. Backup plan B is set the appointment for another day. I rode along with a guy named Lewis Rouse who lives in Athens, Tennessee. He's an old-timer insurance agent, been doing this since 1972. His idea of a lead was a name in a phone book, okay? So he would go through and door knock down neighborhoods all day long. So I rode with him one day to see what it was like. And he didn't get into any appointments. I actually did one. But he set two and went back and sold both of them, okay? So look, either or works. Just get in the door as hard as you can. What's a good website for app or leads routing? Oh, man, it's been a while since GeoMaps. No, that's not it. Somebody will chime in and have a good one. Road Map Warrior, I think. Road Warrior app. That's the one. Road Warrior app. You can put that on your phone. That works good. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Hey, Ryan, what's going on, man? All right, so let's continue on with our process here. All right. I'm not going to show that one. That's dumb. All right. All right, guys, so question for you. Would you door knock this house? Does this look like a final expense operation to you? What's the first thing you think when you see this house if you're peddling burial insurance? Turn the other way. No, don't think that. Don't be like me. All right, that's bad. Let me tell you why. This house is actually on the way to another home I went to about 3 or 4 years ago. I got this card back from a lady, rolled up into the house, and I thought, this is ridiculous. This is $1 million house. It's down the road from old Senator Bob Corker, and these people have no business buying burial insurance. Why would they want to send in a car? They want free insurance. Talking myself out of the deal. I literally started to turn the car around and drive away until something in the back of my head said, stop being a wuss. Stop being stupid and turn around and just do it. You got nothing to lose. So I said, okay. So I turned around and went into the driveway. I got there. I saw the Cadillac Escalade. Oh, the BMW. Oh, it's just killing me. These people aren't going to buy. I'm wasting my time. And they were walking out, and they said, what are you doing here? I said, well, you had an appointment. I said, confirm that with me before you come. I said, okay, come back the next day. So I got there and she said, I told you to confirm. I said, well, yeah, but I thought we were okay. She said, well, come on in. Long story short, I ended up writing 6 final expense policies, maxed out at like 25 to 50,000 each on this lady. It's like a 5-figure commission. All right. This lady wanted final expense. She just had a hell of a lot of money. And she couldn't qualify for anything else because of all of her health issues. So, moral of the story, there's a lot of money out there. All right. Don't let a good opportunity go to waste. What do you have to lose? Again, I say this because I am the worst example. I don't know. I guess an example of an agent who has doubts. I'm not not a machine here. I just think the same things, experience the same things as you guys. So I don't want you guys to get deterred by seeing a mega mansion like this and thinking these guys can't handle final expense. Again, for you guys that sell other things in final expense, this would be less of a deterrent. Probably be a great thing. But there's a lot of you on the call here who just do final expense and may get a little discouraged. Don't be. There's a lot of opportunity. One thing to be aware of on many of these houses here, you're going to find a little old lady who lives in the back in some mother-in-law apartment who sent the card in. She's the one who's interested. She's the one who's going to buy. Okay? So, again, don't get too discouraged if you see the big one. All right. Yeah, annuity. There you go, Dwayne. That's what I think nowadays. Now that I got my mindset right. Jason says, what is your opinion on phone sales for final expense? Good question. I think it's becoming more and more developed as the years progress. It's predominantly been a fixture of call center type prospecting. There's a lot of little call center, like cottage industry. It's cottage industry. There's a lot of call centers that 15, 20 seats in them that do this, that do telemarketing leads, TV leads, or Facebook leads. But now there's more and more operations that allows us for an independent style of business. I just got done referring somebody to Jeff Root at digitalbga.com. Check out their deal. They sell final expense over the phone using Facebook leads. And it's a great process. I've been watching it. I don't do any business with them. It's just a way to help you guys out if you love selling over the phone. It's not a skill set I have, so I don't recruit towards that. But I would definitely check them out. Susan says, I go to sleep with you every night. Oh, no, another woman tells me that. Okay. Okay. Brad says, tell Burgess hello. Nope. That's right. That's right. I feel the same way sometimes. Sell an annuity to that house. There you go. He looks like he owns the insurance company. All right. Bob Corker, is that the guy that messed up the insurance industry? No, he messed up the Republican Party in 2016. He's a senator. He's a senator from Tennessee. All right. The big house folks are buying for their granny. That's right. Exactly. That's the positive way to think. I didn't give you guys permission to put my house on. Yeah, right. Bob says, do you always knock on the door instead of ringing the doorbell? Good question. Okay. Again, these are all things I hear, but I can't validate. Do you knock on the door or hit the doorbell? Always start door knocking. Why? Okay. Here's the thing. I would say in my best mathematical anecdotal estimation, half of all doorbells do not work. All right. They just don't work. I don't know why. They just don't. So you'll sit there and hit the doorbell and you're like, did I hear anything? And you're just standing there looking like a dope. So always start off with that. Again, for you guys on the call here who joined late, your door knock should be, this is what I do, 11 times hard. Think like you're the policeman. Everybody opens the door for that guy. Well, almost. Just like that. It does wonders. Promise you. Do it. You'll gain the attention. You'll grab the attention of the person by the throat and get more people to answer the door. Okay. So a couple other things. You got any more questions on door knocks? I'm about to play a couple of audios for you to listen to how I actually door knock leads in selling final expense. This is a good way to kind of reiterate the script, which I'll talk about here in a minute just after listening, and kind of how I interact with the client. Both of these clips are all three of them about a minute or less, so it's nothing too debilitating and long. And we'll jump in right now. So this first one is one in which the lady wasn't there, but somebody else answered. And what sometimes you have to do is fact find for a future appointment. while you may not book the appointment, you want to ask specific questions in order to gain the facts so that when you're in the neighborhood the next time, you'll be better able to get the person, knock on the door and get an appointment. So let's go ahead and play. So listen up. You'll hear it on the screen with me now. Hi. I'm looking for...
She's not here. Can I help you?
Okay. I'm here about a card she sent in about insurance.
Yeah, she'll be back.
All right. So if I don't talk, this is a little bit different script. If I talk to somebody who's not on the card or this was a single woman who sent the card back. There wasn't a spouse. So this guy answered, was younger, probably her son. So I just say, I'm not the kind of guy that says, hey, I've got the state regulated final expense benefit. I just tell them what it's about. Okay. I figure for me, the direct method is best. I believe that people decide on letting you in equal amount to how you represent yourself, how you appear at the door, the connection you make, as well as what your specific script is. It's a combination of both. And for me, I never like using kind of the weasel words and kind of beating around the bush. I like to go exactly right in, tell them what's about, and deal with it on the spot. So let's keep listening because this guy, the woman's not here, and he's going to provide us some facts to kind of reinforce exactly, okay, when is she going to be here and when can we come back? Tomorrow, okay. I'm going to be back down here Tuesday. I live in Chattanooga. What, is she usually around Tuesday or does she work?
She works.
Okay, when does she get off usually?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock-ish? Okay, all right. Is her number... Listen to what this guy says. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just holler at her and set something
I
up.
got them free Walmart cards.
You know what we're talking about, man.
Give me them free Walmart.
I got to sit down with her. I got to sit with her, then I give them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A little give and take.
Yeah. I knew. But she said y'all were, but she'll be back. She'll be here Tuesday.
That's a buyer, guys. All right. Thank you. Good. We'll call. Where's my free Walmart gift card? That's when I was using gift card Walmart mailers, which I think really work well if you use the right kind of card. You can buy them from leadconcepts.com. They do a pretty good job if you do them the right way. But so what I did there on that door knock again is, okay, when is she home? What time of day is she going to be here? Is she going to be here tomorrow? Sometimes they ask, what do they drive? So if I'm rolling through the neighborhood looking and scoping down to see if she's home, if I see her car's parked there, I park right in behind her and go right up and know that she's there. But that way I gather this information, I write it down on the card so I know what to do the next time I'm in the neighborhood, okay? So always take time to fact find and do your best to gather the information, okay? Feel free to ask questions about that while I play my second one, which I'm going to warn you. Some guys were asking, what about the no solicitor signs? What about the get off my property signs? What do you do when somebody has that? So this is a real life example. It's completely raw, uncut of what happens when somebody with a no solicitor sign answers the door. Now listen closely. Hello, Miss Nina?
Yeah.
Hey, Nina. My name is Dave Duford. This is Mike. I'm here about this card you had sent in. Sometimes
yes, and today's not a good day. I have a fever and I have a
You're
virus.
sick.
Yes.
Listen to how mad she is. I'm soliciting her. And have a virus. I'm sorry. Geez. Yeah,
yes,
right.
I work at Floyd Medical and they even told me not to come in.
That's how bad it is. Is it safe to try to schedule something Tuesday next week at this point?
Maybe it would have to be after 5 though, because I work 2
Okay.
jobs, and the other job I don't get off until about 4:30.
Can we do? I actually have one just around the corner here at 6. Can I do 7 with you?
That'd be fine.
7-ish, if you don't mind. Once I'm done, come over. Okay.
That'd be fine.
Let me give you a card here.
Anytime feel better.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Please. She's so mean and vicious, isn't it crazy?
Thank you.
Summer fever, but we'll let you be. So Tuesday next week at 7-ish or so. Okay. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
Feel better. Thanks. Okay, so obviously tongue-in-cheek here. Guys, I can't tell you enough that some people have these signs up, like on the side of their like giant oak tree or in front of their window, and it's faded. It's literally been there forever. No soliciting. Here's the truth, guys. Those people, those signs are for Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, no offense to you guys, people who sell magazines, and people peddling junk, okay? Remember, who sent the card in? Was it me? I didn't solicit this. You did. You sent the card back. Y'all know by now, being in your 50s or 60s, getting these cards weekly, that you probably sent one in for something else. Might have been a water filter, might have been a Medicare card. Y'all know someone's going to roll up and door knock you and try to sell you something, okay? Because you solicited me, all right? So you need to have that mindset when you're walking in on this door knock and thinking, look, I'm only here because they asked me to, because it's the truth, all right? So don't feel bashful. And it's likely they don't even remember that's no solicitor sign. Again, a lot of people, I'll give you a perfect example, my father-in-law. My father-in-law has had a sign on his home literally for 10 plus years. When I was back in college, like 12 years ago, it said, no salesmen, no Jehovah's Witnesses. We believe in Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. Blah, 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 blah. And he's kind of crazy. And anyways, and it's been there and it's faded now. And I don't think he even realizes it's on his door. So don't take the no solicitor sign too seriously, because what's the worst that can happen? If they go out and they start getting mad, say, I'm really sorry. I'll be happy to leave, but I'm just here because you spent the time filling this card out. I'm not showing up. And that most people send this card because they're looking for information on life insurance, and I'd love 5 minutes to show you how it works. Just be apologetic. One thing that always worked for me is to be the one that says, I'm sorry, first of all. So throw your hands up. This is a defensive measure. It shows that you're exposed, that you're honest. And look them right now and say, I apologize. I don't mean to offend you. And just go back into your script. It actually works fairly well. So a couple of comments here from the group. All right. Does Mutual of Omaha have any way to send an application in instead of faxing? Probably. I think you got to fax the app. You could mail it. Eric says, so if you're saying you just come in with a clipboard and lead, you go back to the car. Okay, glad you brought that up. So when somebody says, yeah, come on in, I'll say, hey, hold on, let me go turn my car off. And then when I turn the car off, I'll go bring my junk in, all right? If I've already turned the car off, then I'll say, hey, hold on 1 sec, let me grab my stuff, and then I'll come back in. So I'll just go back and do it. It's not like they're going to change your mind. They've already invited you in, okay? Quentin, hey, what's up? Does the e-app for Mutual of Omaha work? Yeah, yes. In response to Cincinnati, yes, do the e-app. It's much better. Richard Smith, big house, big annuity. That's the right way to think. David, hey, Dave, what's up? I wouldn't, but that's me. I was an LDS missionary, and I just knock with a friendly rhythm. Okay, yeah, that works too. Eric says, and does a break in time to go back to the car? Yes. No, it doesn't. No. Again, I've done this hundreds of times. They always let me back in. Because the people who, you're really looking for people who are okay with people coming into their house anyway. It's hard to explain. I mean, we're just looking for our guy that's open to this process. And it's likely their behavior's that way. It's likely they've done it before. So when they agree to come in, at least down here in the South, the door's wide open. Half the time I'm going through my script, waiting for me to shut up to say, yeah, come on in. And then I'll just say, hey, give me 1 second. Let me grab this, and then I'll come back. Works fine every time. All right. How hard do you push at getting inside the home, or at least setting an appointment for later before you finally take a hike? I'm going to let you listen, Tanner, to a call where you can hear what I do. It's a little bit unorthodox. I don't want to say it's unorthodox, but I'll end. I won't try to get in if I think there's no opportunity. Okay, that's kind of the goal I'm trying to establish. If I think there's something there, like, oh, I'm completely happy with this Globe Life term insurance plan, I'll be very much motivated to try to turn this into some kind of appointment. Okay, or if I think there's some kind of angle there. But there are times when you can ask a few questions and figure out this is a low odds opportunity. If I push in, it's probably not going to go anywhere anyway. Let me go find somebody else, and I'll give a good example of that in a minute. Lyndon B. Johnson, if the e-app is filled out completely and sent, is the approval rate typically instant? No, it's about a day or two. It's about the same length of time. Keepsake Financial, I'm not going to lie, I'm not nervous about the sales aspect. I'm nervous on going into houses of people I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying, this he said, she said world, absolutely. It's different, though. If you're targeting final expense prospects or seniors, totally different demographic, totally different upbringing. There are people who are more trusting and more open to you coming in, even with all the stuff about don't trust people, don't trust salesmen that goes on, the Better Business Bureau talks about and all that stuff. even with all that, there's a higher likelihood that you'll have a positive experience dealing with senior citizens than perhaps maybe the concerns you have with the younger population. Lyndon says, I feel nervous about reach out to people I don't know, whether it's on the phone. Yeah, totally normal, okay? So do I, okay? We all do. Most of us do. Most people aren't naturally charismatic and like everybody, or attracted to everybody instantly. It's a trained behavior, okay? Everything I'm talking about, you can learn, okay? Brian Tracy talks about, success is learnable. Its skills are teachable. You can learn everything that I'm doing. I am an internet gamer dork. That's originally what I was, all right? Introvert. I could not even call Pizza Hut back when I was like a teenager in high school. However, I got over it, and it's just like exercise. You work your muscle out. It's painful at first, but then you start to get a high from it. You start to become better. You become stronger, more adept and able. But you have to overcome that beginning part, which is the hardest part. Once you do that, it becomes easier. It won't be. It's kind of a false sense to say it will become easy or you won't think about it. You always will have the jitters or the butterflies, but the impact of what it'll have will be less on you. What are the value of these cards? Explain to me what you mean. A card in your hand gives you, oh, gotcha. Bingo. Yes, David, exactly. Let me see here. Yes, I'll show that. Okay. Yeah, the card is a crutch, right? When you show somebody something they filled out, it gives you a little bit of an advantage to get in the door. Plus, if they sent something in, they're probably interested on some level too. All right. Is 700 okay for a lead buy? It depends on what you're buying. You can feel free to explain. Lyndon, in your head, think of it like a conversation you have with someone you know instead of a stranger. Talk to them. Yeah, sure. Muscle memory, exactly. Okay, cool. All right, so let me play with you the last call here, just to show you guys I'm not some, savant of final expense, that I deal with all the same things you guys would or you guys are currently doing. So this is a door knock where I didn't convert them, but just want to show you what I do at the door to try to get in the door and try to ascertain if there's any kind of opportunity there to figure out if I need to keep going or if I can stop. And the outcome of this is I didn't get it, but it's still useful to listen to, so let's listen. Hi, I'm looking for... Whoops, wrong one. Hold on. Here it is. Hey there. Are you Mr. Miss Fuller? My name's Dave Duford. I am here about this card you had sent in, sir, sometime over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You had requested information on life insurance to pay. Okay, so listen to this opening script. This is how I say it every time. I just want to make sure you guys understand that. Hey, my name is Dave Duford here, as I motion to the card. And the reason I'm here is because you sent this card back requesting information on our life insurance program to pay for final expenses, okay? I point to their name as I'm saying this. I don't let them hold the card, okay? I control the card, all right? Sometimes I'll hand it to them just to show them and then take it back, but I don't want their focus to be here. I want their focus to be on me, okay? And my eyes are wide. You can tell I'm like energetic. I'm upbeat. Okay, I'm not avoiding eye contact. I'm making strong eye contact to them. I've attempted to reach out and shake their hand if it was available. I'm smiling. All of this stuff is not some secret, but it makes a big deal if you do it all together, okay? You've got like 5 seconds or less to make an impact, all right? And so you got to do everything and make all the edges and opportunities in your favor. So let's keep going. For final expenses?
Well, I just thought I already had somebody come by one time on that. I thought it was some other benefit to that.
Okay. So what did you end up doing with your insurance then?
I just have a policy that I want a burial policy. So much to cremation's all it is.
It's just a cremation plan?
I didn't know whether that would be for insurance or some regular.
You're kind of confused. Just want to see how long have you had your cremation plan?
Huh?
How long have you had the cremation plan?
Well, I'm just paying on it through a local funeral home here in Rome. It's like
okay, so it's through the funeral home.
$5,000. Yeah.
It's not through like an agent like me or anything like that. Okay,
yeah.
So real quick, so you guys know, this is kind of the point in my mind where I'm thinking, okay, what are you doing with your life insurance? I'm thinking if they say something like AARP, Colonial Penn, or even some other company, I can take that information and then turn it as kind of like a rebuttal and say, hey, that's exactly why I need to speak with you 5 minutes, because this plan has some fine print that you need to be aware of. Give me 5 minutes to show you how it works. I promise you I'll be gone in that 5 minutes. If you don't like what you hear, there's no obligation to buy whatsoever. Give me 5 minutes. Let me see if I can help you out. This is really important. I'll really sell it, okay? I get really like a little emphatic when I have something like that, like right in the palm of my hand, all right? But this guy went ahead and said, oh, I got this through the funeral home. To me, in my mind, I'm like, the notch of getting in the door and being worth my time is less, because my experience with funeral pre-need plans is they're some of the most difficult to replace. The kind of person that buys them is a little bit more well off, plus they're paid up plans. And I personally don't want to replace something that's maybe a 7 or 10 year paid up plan after they've paid into it 3, 4, 5 years. And likely the person won't either. They'll look at that as saying, well, why would I cancel this 5 years into it and paid all this money in? These are things where, yeah, you could go in and make a stand and try to fight for a deal, but I've never had much success in replacing pre-need plans. It's a different market segment. It's a different thought process than a final expense plan. And you can hear me kind of at the end here saying, well, so you don't have any interest in extra life insurance and things like that? And he said no. And I thought, well, okay, could I get in? Maybe, but this is a low odds deal. I'm just going to pack it up and go. Probably something you paid up and are going to pay up. So no interest in any kind of supplemental life insurance or anything like that. So, okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Take care. So that's basically it. That's how I handled that in a minute. Could you have gotten in? Sure. I'm not going to say that you couldn't, but for me, it's kind of one of those things. I've done so many of these calls where I hear that and I'm thinking, well, probably not going to go anywhere considering the kind of plan he has. But if he had something comparable to what I had and it was something that I could do better, I would fight definitely a lot harder. Okay. So last call here for questions. If you have questions, this is a great opportunity to ask them as we're getting close to the end of the hour-long stream here. How many weeks for lead purchase do you need to get going? Hey, Mike, I'm assuming that's what you said. How many weeks? 3 to 5, depending on the vendor that you use, to start seeing the lead returns come back. It's ideal in final expense, mortgage protection, Medicare supplements. If you're doing direct mail, really any leads, that you always do a consistent flow of leads. Something I learned early on in this business. And the truth is, you don't have a business if you don't have people to see. So why not set this thing on auto drive? Always get people to see so that you always stay busy. Otherwise, you don't have a business, at least full time. How often do you do these training streams? Hey, Andrew, thanks for asking. Once a month, all right? I do, as you know, probably 3 or 4 videos a week from different subjects in insurance. But these live streams I do once a month, first Tuesday of the month. It's kind of my schedule. I do a once a week live stream in my Inner Circle group. You can learn more about that at daviddufour.com. Look at the link at the top. It's a month-to-month membership program, $9.99 to start, $69 a month thereafter. You get access to a ton of training on final expense, mortgage protection, Medicare supplements, as well as annuity training. And then you get live trainings with me once a week on Mondays at 12 o'clock. And also, of course, you guys know I train agents nationally, no matter what state you live in. Predominantly what I focus on in helping agents is final expense sales, as well as annuities. That's a new line that we started a couple months ago. We're doing very well. We've got an agent in Washington State that is closing over $1 million in annuity in their first 2 months. That's approximately a $50,000 to $60,000 commission. Whoa. And we've got other agents who have closed other annuities that have made great money. It's a great opportunity. We help you get set up with an appointment setting program using a telemarketer. The cost per month is about $1,000, and you get about 12 to 15 appointments on average if you're using a regular telemarketer. Again, more on that if you want to go to daviddufour.com. Click Join David's Agency to learn more about the annuity program. All right. Back to the questions. Do you like Facebook final expense leads? It depends on the day. There's agents who are doing well, and if you're doing well using them, use them. The thing with Facebook leads, Chris Topping's on the line here. I'm sure he's listening. He came up with the concept of polarity. If you work Facebook leads, first of all, they're harder to pick up the phone than direct mail, in my opinion. Secondly, they're either going to be in love with buying your product or they just swear up and down they never requested the information and they have plenty of insurance and wonder why you would even be here on their doorstep. So I don't know. It's something that's viable. It's something you can get results from. But I always steer agents toward direct mail. It does cost more money. There is more upfront money to do it. But if you look at top producers across the country, the vast majority of them, selling final expense at least, are doing direct mail. Not all of them, but the most of them. So replicate what works. All right. The value of the Walmart cards that you're giving out, $5, just $5. And some people will swear you said $50, but it's $5. I ain't giving out more than that. Trespassers will be shot. I don't think I'd do that one. Survivors will be shot again. Those are the ones I may lay on the horn to get the answer at the door. I may try to call them, but when somebody's threatening to kill me, it's one thing to say beware of dog or no trespassing. But when somebody's threatening to kill me on a sign, these people are a little unstable. I got a pretty funny story about that. I ended up selling the guy, but he threatened to kill me. It's a long story. There's a video buried in my archive of videos on it. It's called David Sells Alabama Redneck. Then the guy ended up dying 3 years later, and he wouldn't have had coverage if I didn't show up. That's for sure. Anyways, all right. All right. A couple last questions here. I find this much more fun and engaging. I put fun in there. I hope you find it fun, Andrew. Than a weekly phone call. Yeah, me too. I like doing live streams. You're welcome, Steve. Thanks for joining me. Hey, Orlando, what is the difference between a UL policy and an index UL? Okay, good. So I'm not the UL guy, but let me kind of mess it up as much as I can. Maybe David, if David's on the line here, he's kind of the traditional life insurance guy. But essentially, an IUL is an indexed product that's tied to a market index, and the gains that you receive from it are tied to what the market does, okay? But it also has downside principal loss protection too. So it's appealing to people that want upside growth potential without the risk of loss. A UL is kind of like that. It's not tied to an index though, but there's potentially more opportunity for cash value growth than say a whole life insurance plan. But here's the catch. There's a whole lot of universal life plans right now that seniors 60s, 70s, and older have had for 20, 30 plus years that are all of a sudden lapsing on them. Why? Because the agent sold a life insurance, universal life plan at such extremely high interest rates that they have fell short of actually performing at those rates. So what's happened is the cash value depletes, and then the policy requires higher premiums later in life, along with the higher cost of insurance component. So long story short, there's a lot of people getting screwed from universal life insurance, but it's a great opportunity, especially for final expense agents, to sell them a whole life plan. So that's kind of like a basic overview. I just did an interview, if you want to do a YouTube search, for Michael Bonilla, Bonilla. He wrote a book on Index Universal Life. It's a really good interview. It's about 40, 50, 60 minutes, and he talks about kind of a primer on IULs and why you sell them and what the opportunities are. Definitely check that out. All right, Trespasser Stand. If anyone found here at night will be found here in the morning, yeah. Orlando says, I'm not a fan of either policy. Orlando, come to the Facebook group. Yeah, that's fine. Check it out. Andrew, personally, I like whole life from a mutual insurance company versus IUL. ULs, because if interest rate to perform, as James said, the yield can lapse. That's correct. Yes, you're welcome. You are welcome. Make sure anybody else has any questions. It's getting past the hour-long limit here. Yeah, here's David's link here. That's his website. David's got a good YouTube channel. He uploads a bunch of classic interviews, like from Ben Feldman, a couple others as well. Hey, Dave, do you have anything from Burt Meisel? Did he ever do any kind of presentations that are recorded? I love that man's writing. He's my favorite old-timer insurance guy, and I say that with respect, of course. Let me know. Feel free to share your YouTube channel here, by the way, too, in the comments or in the live chat. Bob says, Walmart cards, I get one $15 and put it with $25 cards and let the client draw from stack. Sure, that'll work. Yeah, me neither, David. That's what I thought. Ryan says, I'm on the border of going independent as an agent. I'm failing to see many benefits in even being captive. Why do they exist? Just because it's a model that works for the vast majority of people. I think I used to be pretty had a lot of invective towards captive agents. I had a rant video about Lincoln Heritage a long time ago. I took it down. And I realized that the thing is, a lot of captive agencies are best built for more employee-minded people. Probably 95% of the population are employee-minded. You're going to get more micromanagement. You're going to get more hands-on activity. You're going to get more meetings. And a lot of people need that, and that's okay. There's about 5 or 10% of the population that do not thrive in that kind of environment. I'm a part of that. And it took me recruiting agents to realize that there is a difference between some people. Some people thrive independently, others crumble. And captive agents do well for the vast majority of people if they follow the system. But there are some people, if you just can't see yourself thriving in that kind of environment, independence is definitely for you. Aiden asks, is whole life really inferior to term? That's not the right question to ask. Is when is whole life the best option for the client versus term? So I don't think there's any insurance product that's worse than another. I just think what we have to do as life insurance agents is remember that we're also advisors. We're assistant buyers. We need to ask good open-ended questions to identify what the client wants to accomplish. What are their goals? Do they have a permanent problem, like dying? We all have that problem, and paying for it, really. Or are they just looking to, pay off their mortgage if they die earlier than actually paying it off? That's where one would choose whole life for the permanent problem and term life for the temporary problem. So we think of a life insurance product as a tool or a means to an end. There's not one that's better than another. In fact, something is better than nothing. I don't care if I have a bias towards one or the other. As long as I leave the house and I've got my client protected, that should be good enough for all of us because A, they're protected, and B, I just got paid. Okay? All right. Why are all these people posting links to other stuff? Oh, they're just sharing some other links to just channels and stuff. It's cool. No problem. Okay. Never saw any recording. Lyles. What's the benefits from agent's perspective? The whole agent's captive, just to prevent you from replacing that book of business. That's what that is. Thank you, David, for sharing the link. Tradition. That's right. All right. Great content, Dave. Thank you, Doug. I got your email, Doug, by the way. I've just been slammed with emails today. I'm going to try to spend some time answering them tonight. Worst case scenario, I'll get to it tomorrow. Ryan thinks you're the man. You're welcome. Bob says, when call setting, do you leave a message on a voicemail? Great question. Don't leave a voicemail. Who listens to voicemails? I can't remember last time. I don't even listen to voicemails, okay? I look at text messages, though. So maybe that should be something we should do. I think you should follow up with text messages. Voicemails, I would rather you call 3 times in a row than leave a voicemail. You'll get more people to pick up than answer that. All right. Can you say the app name for the leads again? Oh, man, I'm not sure what you mean. 65 Stream Bean. The app name for the leads. If you're talking about Road Warrior app, that's what you put your leads into, and it tracks a route for you. If you want to take a second to clarify that, I'll hang on the line here while I take a sip. Lead mapping, yeah, that's a Road Warrior map, if that's what you mean. Okay, guys, I am done. If you guys got any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat, and we will be happy to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Peace out.